So the big question is this: what is life like on tour when you're playing professional golf? Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's tough. That's the question, and this is the podcast that's going to give you the answer. Welcome to Tales of the Tour on Stock Shot Secrets. All right, so we are back for another episode of Tales from the Tour with my beloved wife, who I love. I love you, babe.
I love you.
So we are fresh parents.
We have a month-old baby with us on
we are
the
a month-old
road,
baby, born June 9th.
traveling through the south of
wherever.
Ohio. No, not south of Ohio.
South,
the southern part of
southeast.
Yeah, southeast, and it is hot.
It is hot. So this is now one of the greatest experiences, learning experiences of me as a player. So we go to Florence, which is where this picture is. So Lesley is looking at a picture right now of us, actually me reading a book to Adler, and it is by Dave Stockton, called Unconscious Putting. And the reason I'm reading this book is because I had just played a tournament in Florence, South Carolina, and you were at the hotel. You did not come to this event. And I go to this event and hit 35 of 36 greens, which is like insane.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And I missed the cut, but I hit it really good. And I mean, that week I was using a line, I remember, and the line on the ball was perfect. Everything was perfect except nothing was perfect.
Exactly.
Because none of the putts were going in. And I signed my scorecard, so upset that I've missed the cut because my wife and my baby are home and daddy's got no money to come home with. So I go to the putting green after. It's literally in the dark at 8 o'clock. I'm hitting putts, and literally I am just walking up to putts and whacking them, and they are just dropping and I'm like, this is, what the heck, man? This is absolute bush.
Yeah.
So I go to the hotel. I remember saying to you, and I go, sweetheart, I am never playing slow again. I am never reading another putt. I am never trying again at the game of golf.
Okay.
So I read this book, Unconscious Putting, and it's always interesting because we were talking to the junior academy kids. Whenever you read a golf book, you always go and play great. Every time my first time I ever shot in the mid 60s was in high school, and I wrote a Bob Rotella book. I went to Michigan to this AJGA event, shot 65. So it's just, I don't know why. We should probably always be reading mental books if that's the learning lesson. But with this, I end up leaving. We go from that tournament, and that's the event where we then go to Tennessee.
Yes.
Right?
Nationwide.
And you said that week our air conditioning went out, but
our air conditioning went out in the car on the way to Tennessee, and this is now August.
With a baby.
And I remember driving there. We had the air conditioning fixed while we were in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Because some family members came down.
Yeah. So
to watch him play.
Yeah.
Which was nice. But
so I remember going to that. It was a Monday qualifier for the then Nationwide Tour, what's now called the Corn Ferry Tour, web.com or whatever it is called, Corn Ferry.
So can I just say this? That car, at this point, had a brand new engine, a brand new transmission, right before we go out on the road, and then the air conditioning goes out.
Yeah, life of a major player. So the but I remember going to Cedric at the tournament. The qualifier was at Willow Run or Willow Hollow or something like that. And I remember going to Cedric, and I go, Cedric, I told my wife that I'm never going to try again at golf. And when I say that, it was me going to the other side of the spectrum because I was so type A on a golf course.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I'm not type A really at all, I don't think.
No. But golf you are.
Yeah, but with
everything golf, you're type A.
I was going to be very type.
Everything else, no.
I was going to try really less. I was going to be really type B.
Yeah.
And I hopefully was going to find the middle. So I go, I'm not going to try at all. So I hit a first hole. I hit a driver. Remember, it's par 5. I hit it down the center of the fairway. Hit a 2-iron to 3 feet right of the hole. Mark the ball, and then just stand on my bag. And I remember Cedric looking at me like, "What's he doing? He's not even reading the putt. He's not trying. What's the deal?" I remember I just dropped the ball, put the putter behind, knocked it in. Go on to shoot 62 in that event and win the qualifier to get into the nationwide event.
Yeah.
Across the street at Fox Hollow. Hey guys, I hope you are enjoying this episode of the Stock Shot Secrets podcast. If you are enjoying it, be sure to like this episode. Be sure to subscribe so you can always see when they're coming out. And most importantly, if you would be so kind to be able to share this podcast with other passionate golfers who are trying to get better and build stock shots, because it grows through you sharing it. Thank you so much for tuning in. And now back to Stock Shot Secrets. And the same thing happened. So we go to the tournament that week, which was great because your parents came down.
Your dad came down.
Right, we got the picture here where
This is Adler's first time on the golf course because I was terrified to take him out. I mean, I would pick you up from the course and meet you like when you're at the range or something
Yeah.
with him. But I was terrified that he would like start crying in your backswing.
Right.
So this was the first time he got to see you play when he was 2 months old.
Yeah, and I remember, so we were playing in the event, this nationwide event. Cedric's caddying for me, and I get to the second round, and I remember looking at the leaderboard on hole like 12 or so, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm winning.
Yeah.
This is incredible. And it was the first time where in all of my playing career in a high pressure event. Now I had done this in pro-ams and for fun and blah, 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 blah. But in a high pressure event, I had always seemed to get in my own way and could never like free up my brain to just, as you would just play golf.
Just play golf.
Just play golf,
Just hit the ball.
Just hit the ball. It's like
the ball.
Obviously. So, and I remember I was winning on hole 12, and it was that day after that second round. I was sitting down with Peter Malnati and Matt Harmon. Matt had status that year. Peter and I did not.
I think I remember Matt telling us at this tournament that Padgel was pregnant.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. And we were traveling with a bunch back then and like beforehand. And Peter Malnati and I were sitting there, and he was playing pretty good that week. Like he had Monday qualified with me as well, I believe, and he was in like 10th place. I was winning. We're top 3 or 4 at that time, and I was like, hey Peter, like if we could finish in the top 12, like we're gonna make enough money to get into the playoffs and have a chance to like get our PGA Tour card. Like what an amazing opportunity. And so on and so forth. After that round, that's where I'm signing those autographs, which is really cool with all the kids and all that kind of stuff. But
that was fun.
I remember, I did the same thing in round 3, played all right, played pretty good, was in like the top 10 or 5 or so going the final day. And then the final day, old Kyle comes back and end up getting in my own way in the back 9. I remember, I think I shot like 75, which on the Korn Ferry Tour is like 106. And dropped way back to like 30th. And Peter ends up winning. And since 2012 of August has been on the PGA Tour.
So that's what got him on PGA Tour.
He got into the playoffs, kept his card. There he is. And
so close.
Here we are.
We are where we thought we would be.
No, we are not where we thought we would be. We are where we thought we'd be.
I'm good where we are.
I'm good where we are, too.
I'm good where we are.
I
don't know that I could have continued to travel with kids and everything. That would have been like super hard. So
super hard. Well, we're going to talk about that.
Which is why that's not our story. That's why this is our story.
Yeah, but I think that kind of gets into some of the difficulty of like kind of entering into this next stage of life that we're going to, and then we can continue to kind of run it through all the golf room and everything else. But it was an interesting, I guess, the lesson and the tale of the tour is the fact that like the mental side of the game is really important, especially at that stage. And it was for me, it was that week and that stuff with having Adler on the course for the first time, us having no air conditioning, but getting out of my own way.
Unconscious putting to your infant son. Yeah.
You can't start him too young. That's why he's so good right now.
I know. He is legit.
It was a very eye-opening experience for me. So
yeah.
But from here, then we're gonna it starts to get into the fall with Q School again.
Oh.
Barf.
Yeah.
All right. So let's stop there. But good lesson for all of our Stock Shot listeners. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being here today, babe.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys back here for another episode of Tales of the Tour. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to the latest episode of the Stock Shot Secrets. Now, I want to give you a special opportunity where you and I can chat individually by just simply texting the following number, and you can ask any question under the sun about anything relative to your game or your skill, body, mind, whatever it is. So just text me at 614-541-1988. That's 614-541-1988. Subscribe to our text line, and then you can be in the special Stock Shot community where we can talk about everything under the sun regarding stock shots.